People paid their respects to Grammy-nominated artist and community leader Nipsey Hussle yesterday. The rapper was killed in front of his own clothing store in Los Angeles on March 31st. Fans packed into the Staples Center yesterday for a memorial service. Tickets ran out in a matter of minutes. Those who couldn't get inside lined the streets for the procession to Forest Lawn Memorial Park, where Nipsey Hussle was laid to rest. There was a moment during the memorial that caught a lot of people's attention, and certainly it went viral. Minister Louis Farrakhan mistakenly called Nipsey Hussle Nipsey Russell. But what seemed like a disrespectful slip-up to some, maybe young people, was actually a reminder of how Hussle got his name to begin with. It is an homage to the famous comedian Julius Nipsey Russell, who, if you don't know, is from our hometown here in Atlanta. Nipsey Russell was an Atlanta native. He was born and raised here. Mr. Russell attended Booker T. Washington High School, same school as Dr. King and Lena Horne, among others. He got his start as a comedian in the 1940s as a car hop at the Varsity, where he increased the tips he earned by making customers laugh. He was discovered after that when he began performing in nightclubs in the 1950s. A generation remembers him best as the Tin Man in the movie The Wiz. Mr. Russell was a mainstay on network game shows, and in those 1970s Dean Martin comedy roasts, he was called the Poet Laureate of television. He died at the age of 87 in 2005.